attacks always come down the right-hand side to Nichelle Prince because she can get on the ball. She allows that time for her teammates to get up and join that point of attack and join that supporting angles. But when you have a player like Jasmine Spencer, she does the defensive work and then also adds that attacking presence as well. Excuse me.
Mewis drives it deep, and then Ashlyn Harris goes up, somehow bats away, still loose. Well, there's been chaos on those corners. Ashlyn Harris still on the ground. Another chance there. Jasmine Spencer was the player next to Ashlyn Harris on this corner.
And you can see this good set piece from Christy Mewis that we see time and time again. You can see Jasmine Spencer goes up, and it's actually Nichelle Prince that comes through Ashlyn Harris. Doesn't mean to, is trying to win the ball. A good initial battle with Spence and Harris on this initial one. You can just see this on the tail end of it just coming through, and Harris gets the brunt end of it. Harris goes up and over, just doesn't catch this initial one because of the presence of Jasmine Spencer. And then you can just see here, Nichelle Prince comes straight through on Harris, and it looks like a head collision to a hip.
Harris last week passed Nicole Barnhart for NWSL's all-time save leader. You look at Harris, she's been out with the U.S. national team as well. You have to think maybe if she was here a little bit more, she could easily have over 500 saves in her career. She could possibly get to that mark this year here in the NWSL as the training staff looks at her at the moment. Houston here with a 1-0 lead. Lone goal in this game coming from Rachel Daly. For you, what would you like to see more of here in Orlando as they look to get things going a little bit, try to steal that momentum back?
I think for Orlando, they need to make some substitutes. They need to bring some players off the bench to help, whether it's Vigiano, whether it's Korniak, just to add a little bit more of attacking presence. I think Jodie Taylor's been very quiet for Orlando tonight. She hasn't really done a good job popping off that back line to help with that build-up play. I think Sydney Leroux has come alive at times. I think Tim Rack's been brilliant. I think she's living in those tight pockets of space, but there just needs to be a little bit of a spark, a little bit of fresh leg, especially when you haven't been good at home. In this league, you need to be good at home. You need to collect the 3 points, and you need to almost make your stadium a fortress. And Orlando have not done that, especially being a team where it's hot, it's humid, it should be a difficult place to go. So I think subs at this moment in time would be great. I think the back line has done a good job. Players like Krieger, I think Riley's really struggled. So I'd love to see some players come off the bench. And then for Houston, just be switched on. Just over 30 minutes to go here with extra time. I think for them, again, substitutes are going to play a massive role in this, bringing players or having players on the bench like a Sophie Schmidt that can just jam up that midfield defensively, having players come off the bench, maybe like an Oyster again to help defensively. So it's going to be managing, and it's going to come down to manager. So I love that we've gone on her because it's going to come down to this. It's hot, it's humid, 4 o'clock kickoff, 1-0 lead for Houston away from home. Who can tactically outmanage one another here today?
You look at Becky Burley, won a national championship with the University of Florida in 1998. Abby Wambach, one of those players on that team for Becky Burley, but now she might have the tough decision. If Ashlyn Harris isn't able to go, we might see Canadian goalkeeper Erin McLeod come in.
I mean, pick your poison. You have a world-class goalkeeper in Ashlyn Harris. You have a world-class goalkeeper in Erin McLeod. Both have played at a high level. Both have played in World Cups. And Erin McLeod just coming off a gold medal, so the confidence that she oozes. Again, you don't want to see a player like Ashlyn Harris down and injured, and this isn't a player to stay on the ground this long. This is a player that gets knocked, that gets kicked, that gets scratched, and bounces right back up. So hopefully nothing serious, but is looking like this will be a sub. There's no reason to risk a player like this, especially when it is a head injury, but coming on is an experienced goalkeeper as well.
You look at Harris, she's had some remarkable saves already this game to keep at 1-0. There's a good chance here earlier in the first half on what was another corner where Shea Groom was denied by Harris, and then just seconds later, Christy Mewis denied by Harris with a great save that she popped over the crossbar to keep this game at 1-0. So Becky Burley here will have her work cut out for her as Orlando looks for an equalizer, as unfortunately this is one of those things you never want to see with the stretcher coming out, and Ashlyn Harris's night looks to be over.
And let's hope it's one of those moments that the stretcher's coming out because it is a head injury, and it does look like it's in and around that area, that they're just being overcautious with something like this, because
I have to think maybe that neck just being tight from the collision more so than anything, as Harris able to get up, and we'll see what Orlando does, if Harris will stay in or if we will see Aaron McLeod.
and you can see her, she's like, I'm good to go. This is what you love about her. I'm not laughing at the situation, I'm just laughing at the strength within Ashlyn Harris. This is why she's one of the best goalkeepers in the league. She's a fighter. You want to play for a player like her, and this is that point that I made earlier. You don't want to let someone down like her, because she's going to step up 10 times out of 10, and she's going to battle through anything. And it looks here she's trying to get the doctors okay to keep going. She wants to keep going, obviously doing the concussion protocols now.
You talk about not wanting to let a player down like Ashlyn Harris. If she does stay in this game, how much does that also motivate you as a player, that she got up, that she was able to withstand this injury on this hard collision to keep playing?
Look, as a player, you'd probably want Ashlyn just to take herself out of the game, because it is that head collision. You don't want to risk anything. But whether you do pull her out of this game, you're going to fight for her. I think this is the correct decision. If they are going to pull her out of this, yeah, they are making the sub, and I think it's the right one. Good, bad, or ugly, I think anytime a player gets knocked in the head, this is why those concussion protocols have been implemented with the substitution rules, is to protect the players, and it is long overdue.
So it looks like Ashlyn Harris's night is over, and that will bring in Aaron McLeod. Thumbs up from Harris as she walks into the tunnel and back to the locker room, where she'll get some more medical attention. And then a player you know very well, and Aaron McLeod, she will come in for Orlando for the remainder of this one. McLeod will jog on, greeted by Sydney LaRue and Maggie Doherty-Howard.